Okay, and we are live. Roy, how's it going?
Good. How are you, Thomas? It's always good to be here, even if I just get a head nod back instead of doing well. But
I'm doing
tonight, yeah, Thomas is getting things set up. So for Bootleg Weekly, guys, we are, of course, going to be discussing Aehr Test Systems probably right off the top. Still waiting on the earnings transcript. I did listen to the call, which ended like 10 minutes before this, and I was driving for most of it, so I didn't have notes. So as always, what we're going to be saying is not financial advice. Double check, especially now, because you can hear something driving and it might be different than reality. So just do your own research. We're also going to talk about the potential ceasefire, what's happening back and forth, the likely outcomes there, and also Anthropic news, which has some implications for, of course, hyperscalers, but also inference. And Tevis never misses an opportunity to talk Nebius, so he's just a Nebius shill. So, and I am too. So we'll definitely hit those two. As always, we're going to hit your Q&As at the end of today's stream if they're not related to the topics at hand. So feel free to ask those anytime, and Tevis will bookmark 49 and a half of them.
Yeah, I'll bookmark as many as I can. Let me share this on X, actually. And I think the thing that we were using for notes is not working right now, Roy. So we'll just make notes on the side.
Okay.
So
Vibe coding, man. It gives and it takes away.
This is the problem with not testing anything until like actual game time. I'm just like, yeah, it'll probably work, and it doesn't at all. So that's on me. But yeah, let me share this on X. Actually, I just got back from the office, and so I was just like running around. So I haven't been as in tune with the market as I'd like to be. But tonight's gonna be a big
I think other than just individual catalysts, which there's a few of them, and we're going to hit the two most important ones. Aehr Test Systems is the most important thing for the market right now. Maybe the war with Iran and Hormuz is number two, but I'll just
yeah.
So yeah, let's start there with Aehr. So did you catch? I guess you probably haven't caught anything. You don't know anything.
Look. All I know about Aehr's earnings is that they're down 2.5% after they reported. I know nothing else.
Yeah. Okay, let me start there, and we'll talk. I'm going to do a follow up video probably tomorrow morning on Aehr, just some other thoughts. I need to double check to make sure I've got some things right before I actually post anything. But I think it's always important to also look at and see where we've come from. So this is year to date, and those numbers I think are maybe just slightly off. But if you look at March 30th to April 5th, we're I mean that's $50 and we're at 48.54, but that's a pretty big increase. So going into this earnings, like I expected, I told people, I think I even mentioned on the show on Friday, as like, yeah, it's probably that this is going to fall, that there are some scenarios where Aehr would continue to climb. This is less damage than I expected. I figured 3.4% down. And there was maybe two areas of just like small disappointments, not anything critical. The thesis is actually very intact, and we're going to look a little bit in that too. But I've always seen this more as a second half play because that's when the revenue really starts ramping up. And I didn't know if the market would give it this much of a premium that it's done since, I've been talking about this since last June. So, yes, thank you guys for being here. But anyway, so what they basically reported was good numbers. So they had a beat on EPS. They missed on revenue, but they're still very small numbers. It's not a massive amount. Let me see if the quarterly is here. And it's not yet. I think it is on the KPIs. Usually in smaller names, Fiscal AI takes a little bit longer to update. But yeah, you can see the total revenue right there. This is nothing. 10.3 million. You can see, and if somebody was just looking at this name from the outside in and didn't know anything about it, they'd be like, okay, what's bullish about that? And there's a lot that's actually really bullish. So one thing is that they reaffirm guidance. So let me go ahead and pull that up just to make sure I don't. And I won't like pull up everything from this, but it is very relevant. Reiterating the guidance for their fiscal year that ends on May 29th. So this is Q4 for them. Oh, you guys can't see that. Hold on one second. Full screen it. And there we go. And it's 25 to 30 million, and they just printed 10, which means that, and they, by the way, they mentioned, by the way, that this was going to come in on the high side. So usually when they say that, it's a very good indication that they'll be like right at like 28, 29, 30. That's going to be basically double the revenue of what they've done this quarter. They looked at the other thing that was really fascinating, and I'm not sure if it's there on KPIs yet or not, but it will be, is the effective bookings, and of course bookings as well. We're seeing acceleration as expected. It was actually a little bit less than I expected, but they have another order, it sounds like, that's coming through from that same hyperscaler within the next month or two, and another order that's going to come in the next 3 months, and then some likelihoods over the next 3 to 6 months as well, that are going to tremendously increase this. But this is a nice increase in quarterly bookings. And beyond that, they have a production or a number. So this is a previous comment on bookings, 60 to 80 million in bookings in the first fiscal or the second fiscal half of 26. They have weird fiscal years, so they end May 29th. They're actually changing that next year a little bit. Effective bookings is the last thing. Let's see. I'm probably just overlooking. Yeah, effective backlog, including bookings. That's what it is. It's $50.9 million, which I believe I heard was a record. So yeah, it's acceleration. It's very lumpy the way this is going to work, but really, like, for this quarter and for next quarter, revenue is not really that important. It's about the bookings and the effective backlog, and of course the comments on like those further upstream in the sell cycle. So let's see here. Yeah, here we go. Effective backlog. They haven't always traced this, so that's why it doesn't have numbers previously. But yeah, Fiscal A already has it there. $50.9 million. So this is what this is backlog that was at the end of the quarter, plus the backlog that they've had from customers since that time, and it's what they're working on currently. It's why that they're able to actually suggest, and you can see the actual bookings is 60.5. Let's see, is that correct? Quarterly. Yeah. Okay, they do have the numbers there. So yeah, here is where you can see the acceleration. In case you missed it before, this is on the quarterly basis. Again, orange is effective backlog. Well, we'll do it this way even. So you can see something is similar with both of these, the numbers that they reported, and that's material acceleration. This is exactly what's coming down the pike. And the thing is, it's not just stopping there and like, hey, they're going to see a nice bump of like double or triple the revenue. It's going to be a lot more than that. It's going to also be lumpy and not always, an exact increase. So it's going to be exciting, I think, especially next quarter, because they'll actually issue their full year guidance. And so, yeah. Now, beyond that, there are some other things that stood out to me. The one thing that was a negative, they are in a lot of conversations with different hyperscalers and chip designers and producers and memory guys and everything. They were in a discussion with one of the hyperscalers on one of their, I believe it was an AI unit. I don't think they mentioned gallium nitride, but regardless, they messed up one of the specifications. Like, basically, they were using the same terminology, but the customer was using a different definition than Aehr Test Systems. And so what they've had to do is basically like jimmy rig. That's not the right word. It's not the technical word, but do some fixes with some of the wafer packs that they were designing for this customer. And it works, but then they've created the next version, which is actually the way it's supposed to be. And in Gaines' words, like, yeah, we didn't get this right for the customer. It set things back by a few months. But there's like, compared to previous quarters, and I might outlay this, in a future video a little bit further into earnings, there is so much interest and demand and new customers and qualification orders. A brand new one, by the way, that they announced today. So it had to happen within like the last 4 or so days. Actually, I think that they said that it happened today, but that's like a small amount of revenue, but that's where you start with most customers, except for the one that they reported last week, which is like, hey, let's skip all this qualification stuff. We know that you guys are going to help us. Here's money. It's like that doesn't happen, but it kind of showcases the demand. So anything too long, didn't read or didn't listen, thesis is still very intact. There was 1 or 2 things that were a little bit softer than I expected. I don't see any problem with the price action. I don't think we're actually going to retrace as far as we were. And yeah, they're just building a higher floor. Yeah, it's actually almost flat now after hours. The analyst comments as well were very bullish, and I think that we're going to see one of them it's harder to read, but at least three that'll have upgrades or reiterations. Yeah, it was a good earnings. What was it? Amazing and ridiculous enough to go to all time highs? Probably not, but maybe the macro comes in. So
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Is it sounds as though, while good, a little bit soft, and I don't know if that's the earnings that the market is expecting from a company that's up 130+% year to date.
that's the problem, is the price action. It's like we saw this in the past, actually a couple of times with Aehr, where the market got ahead, and it tends to do that on microcaps anyway, especially low liquidity microcaps like Aehr, although the liquidity is improving. But yeah, like if we fall back to, I know it's 49.91, so like it sounds like a big drop, but it's really not. We were there 2 days ago. If it falls to $40 a share, I'm not like, oh man, it's the end of the world and it's undeserved and unfair. It's like, no, I put a price target on it, like right at the beginning of the year or late last year of $70 a share, expecting that we'd see more of the increase in the second half. It looks like I'm wrong on that. And I still think that we'll get there. We may exceed it too. Some of it depends on macro, but the nice thing is, Tevis, from here on, so we'll have around 20 million, which isn't massive revenue or anything. It's not record breaking, certainly, for Aehr next quarter. And then the guidance that I think they'll put out for the first half, maybe they'll guide for the whole year, is going to have the highest revenue that they've ever had easily. It improves margins. They mentioned that they're back to EPS profitability next quarter. It's nice.
So thesis still intact. It's just a hold for you. You're not buying more. Or are you?
Yeah, it's my number one position. And let me actually see.
Dude, I think after this run up, like, you should be thinking about trimming at least some. I don't know.
Yes. Yeah. So I have sold into earnings intentionally to bank a little bit of profit anyway on not even half of my shares, but I sold, I think, just one at 50 and then some at 55, or maybe I have that reversed. And we're right at 50. I have no problem if they go away at this point. And they expire next Friday, so I have a little time on them. And I have either one or some at 55, I don't remember. And I sold a little bit at 65 too, which, even though I think that we're heading higher, like the stock can get ahead of itself and it's fine. It doesn't bother me. So yeah, if this was trading, like if it had the bump and earnings were like whatever the market was really loving and hoping, and it went up to like 57, I would probably actually early close the covered call. So basically just buying it back and selling the shares. A little bit less gain that way, but just to preserve the gain. But yeah, here at like exactly where my covered call is, I'm like, I'm probably just going to hold and wait. Could we get hit? And we're going to talk macro in a minute. Could macro just like knock this down to 35 again? Yeah, and I'd be frustrated with myself on that. But yeah, there's certain levels on these type of plays that I start to take profits in. And like, you've seen the premiums on Aehr. You have a covered call out there, don't you?
Yeah, I have covered calls on Aehr at 65 on my entire position.
And that's next month, correct?
That's May 15th, yeah. And dude, like,
Okay,
I got like $5 on it, which is insane.
Yes.
The premiums for this thing are just bananas, because I'm like, okay, so it was at 52 when I wrote this covered call, okay? And I wrote the covered calls for 65, and I got $5 in premium for them. So like $500 for each call. For it to go $15 higher, or $13, I guess, higher in a month. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like I sold 65s yesterday for over 200 per contract.
Yeah.
So that's, ridiculous. And I'm like, that was at the time, let's see, 30% higher or so, 25 or 30%. I think it was around 25% higher yesterday. And I'm like, okay. So I sold one and I'm like, I'm going to sell more than that. And so I don't think, like anything could happen. We could see macro stuff be resolved in a very favorable way and pump this, well past 65. I guess I'll cry into bags of money that that I'm have less Aehr than I'd like to have, but yeah, like the premiums were so good, dude. Like it's just hard to get over that because I was like, okay, I averaged average right now, not including the premiums from covered calls, is like 19 and change, 1903, 10 or something like that. And when you get like 20% or 10% of your entire cost basis back for selling an options contract a week out in earnings at 30, 25 or 30% higher, it's like you do that. I didn't do it with all my position either because, okay, so I'll probably not talk about this too much, but based on the way that the CEO has been indicating, the way that things are lining up external to for Aehr Test Systems, you see some of it in Teradyne and also within hyperscalers, within memory, and that's like a big thing in this earnings of. That's not. I don't think memory is priced in this at all. Of them actually getting to win some of those customers. There's only really 3 that are in existence, and it sounds like they're in conversation with multiple. So it's like, okay, are they in conversations with all 3 of these guys, or just like 2 of 3, or is it like a Micron and like some little boutique memory thing that I've never heard of? Either way, like I think that's a free call option, but the way the Aehr is going is like I don't see this as just like, oh, this is a great trade and I'm going to be out in a year. No, all have taken profits, and I think it's a prudent thing to do for sure. And I don't mind doing it here at all. But $70 is going to look pretty small, I think, 3 to 5 years out.
Yeah, that's if you want to hold 3 to 5 years out. I think, again, with such a parabolic move, that we're going to get some type of a pullback, and I think this earnings is the perfect catalyst for that. So we'll see. I mean, like, this thing we can wake up tomorrow, it could be $35 and we wouldn't, really bat an eye. Like it's totally normal for this to move up, double digits. It's extremely high volatility. So will I buy more? I mean, like, I remember when I closed off those covered calls at 50 and then it fell to 33 and I bought some shares at 33. You just felt like a genius, man. Cause like the next week it's like back up to 50 and and then I wrote the 65s and it's just like this thing.
Yeah.
Like it feels good, like it feels like there's certain, it's like, I don't know.
It's a stock that's made for degens like you.
Well, like when you drive a car for the first time, you're like, oh, like, I don't know, this one doesn't like feel great. And then you drive one and you're like, this feels like I feel really good. Like this feels great. And that's like what Aehr is, because it's all it's been. It's nice to me. And so thank you for that. But we'll see how it continues trading. And if I get shaken out, that just means that I locked in a huge profit along the way. Because if I get shaken out, I get shaken out at $70 break even.
Yeah.
And if I exactly. If I get shaken out at $70 break even and I entered it in January at $22 cost basis, it's like, thanks. I'm fine with that.
So I just wanted to show you this too. Like this is up. I've not been in it this whole time. I started getting in June, and I didn't just buy my entire position there at 12 something. But over the last year, just because it basically bottomed right around then, close to Liberation Day, it's up 600%. So whoever was buying back then is really walking on air, man. But yeah, like it's one that this type of stock, it's not uncommon for it to get a little ahead of itself, and like it's hard to say when you gain 50% in 5 days, like that hasn't happened. So yeah, like you said, if it falls back to $40 a share, 35 is probably further than I'd see, barring like something really nastier than I expect in the macro, and I expect a continuation of the conflict. So if you see Tevis 36 or 38, you only you, I'm not telling anybody else, you might do what you do best.
Yeah, I definitely will. And it's just you sort of gain more and more confidence with it. Like the more trades that I make that are positive. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, at least let me reinvest whatever profits I had previously back into this. Like, if it falls back to 35, let's say, all the premiums that I made from selling the 65s, they go back into shares, and those shares then go back. Like, you get what I'm saying? It's like, it's a virtuous cycle to some degree. So I'm all for that. I think, I still don't exactly understand it to that same degree, but it's like, it's inconsequential. If I get shaken out of Aehr tomorrow with all the gains that I would have made through cash secured puts, covered calls, my my call options that were $40 expiring in September that I sold when it was like $32, that I opened when it was $20. Those would have done nicely. And my leaps for 2027 would have done nicely that I sold way too early. Like, all of it is just green across the board. And still, it's such a small amount that it's not even really going to make a dent in the portfolio. But it's a feel good, It's a little feel good. So
I'm glad that at least you got a little in there, and you got my favorite kind of monster. I've got a Welch's Cran Grape Ghost, which is pretty good actually. I think it's not bad, but like it's especially in a year like this one where there's not been as much green as you would expect in a bull market so far, and it's been turbulent. Yeah, it is. There's something to be said just for even a little green if it's not a large part of your position, but
yeah, I think I don't know if we're going to be live or not by the time this goes out. I got nothing else to do, so I don't know what Roy's night looks like, but yeah, like, we're going to see. It's going to be an eventful night. I said here, let me throw it up for you guys. And maybe we want to jump to macro, Roy, or not?
Yeah, I think that's good. Since they don't have the transcript yet, I have to wait on saying anything else, but yeah, it's a good call. Good call, good earnings. Well, and let me just add maybe like one last little note is, I mentioned it earlier, but last earnings was basically the CEO coming out and saying, we're looking at having bookings, which we don't usually guide on, of this amount. And you almost had to take it on faith. Now, there was a lot more than that for me in it, just because I've been investigating the space for a long time, investing, seeing what's happening elsewhere and externally. Of course, then those orders started falling through, so it was not blind faith. Now we see the bookings, we see the effective backlog, so there's not really nearly as much there. There's still maybe like a tiny bit, but I think it's that way with most companies. But next quarter, like, you don't even have to like start guessing on like, well, is revenue actually gonna? I mean, you already see it with effective backlogs and bookings. You see it with the guidance, and that revenue acceleration is going to continue for quite some time. So it's as time goes through, the thesis is continuing to play out in a very clear and concrete way that's very measurable. It's not just qualitative, which is really important. So this is a great step forward.
Yeah. It's good earnings is what the takeaway is.
Yeah. If I was going to give it a grade, probably like a A- would be. So is a good solid earnings.
A-
Best ever. Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, shall we talk a little bit about some macro there, Roy? What do you think?
Yeah, what's happening in 90 minutes?
Yeah, so we're going to get to this ultimatum, basically, and we're going to find out whether we get another taco or whether we get a deal. Hold on, let me throw up my screen here.
Pull up some stuff too.
I said here, I don't think we're getting a deal tonight. I don't think we're getting escalation tonight. I think it's going to be pushed back due to deal talks ongoing or something similar. Overall, I think we trade up on it. That's what the market seems to be doing after hours, but of course, that can change at the drop of a dime. I said I could be super wrong. We will find out soon. It is going to be entertaining, if nothing else. So, yeah, what is your prediction on what tonight is going to bring, Roy?
Yeah, going in, the last few days, I thought it was probably more likely than not that we would see delay or extension rather, and we've seen a little bit further confirmation of that out of Pakistan, who's trying to mediate between the two parties. Iran responded back probably about an hour ago now, basically saying out of respect to Pakistan and what they're trying to do, we're in favor of that. And part of that ceasefire, actually, it'd be really bullish if it happens this way, where not only is it a ceasefire and allows 2 weeks for time for talks, but it also allows ships in and out of the Strait of Hormuz, which would be really a nice thing. That needs to happen. And at the very least, there's some empty LNG ships that are bottled up there that could be used to be able to transport LNG. And I know that there's probably a number of oil takers who I focus more on the LNG side. So that'd be a great thing, and I think that's more likely than not. I don't know about the Hormuz bid or not, but I'm not really sure. So with that, I was trying to think through the weekend, just not fixated on it, but thinking through like what do I actually want to do on Monday. And so I ended up writing a put, not a cash secured put, yesterday, which not a put, a segment of puts. And they did incredibly well this morning, and so I took some profits off of that. But I still have like a tiny hedge. It's nothing meaningful. It's just a little swing trade. But I think if that goes to zero, I still made money on it. But they may not go to zero. So I'd prefer them to go to zero because it means that an extension has been reached. There's I think 0% chance that a ceasefire actually happens here. That's longer lasting. Well, no, I'm saying the extension is very likely okay, we're done with the war type of event. That they need more time.
Yeah.
So what moves did you make, or did you think about making and then you chickened out? Just kidding.
I bought some more.
And actually, before you answer that, Wandering Willow says, "Roy, free me, please. I did nothing." Nothing is usually the right thing to do in these instances. There's times when it feels terrible and you're like, "Oh man, I should have done something." But the biggest mistake a lot of retail people make in the market, or one of the big ones, is just trying to predict and time the market. And if you're trying to do that, especially while Trump is president, boy, you're going to be offsides more often than not. So Tevis, what did you do, if anything, or what were you thinking about doing?
I bought some more SoFi yesterday. I posted about I posted about it. I bought about 600 or so shares. I sold some covered calls on a bunch of stuff. On Aehr being one of the main ones. And I think that's pretty much. Oh, I rolled my VG. Okay, so I rolled my VG covered calls that were expiring on this Friday that were completely underwater. And I rolled them out to April 24th. And just to capture the premium there. The thought process was if the market rallies, which I think it will off the back of this news, VG is going to dump and I can just the volatility is going to die down and I can just buy back and get out of that position. If the market does not rally, well, okay, I would have already those shares were already gone in my mind. So why not get a little bit more premium out of them? So yeah, just a couple weeks out. But I think given the decision tonight, it was so it just made sense. The premiums are so good. The beta was really high. So
yeah, I've not done. So you bought SoFi then as a hedge just in case things don't go well and SoFi will print, or what was your thought process? I know that wasn't it.
No, not really. I mean, I think I just felt like buying it, honestly. I had some of the shares in the Wheeling account that I got from having puts assigned, and this is just sort of lowering my cost basis so that I think we're going to rally into earnings, and I think earnings are going to be good. And I'm going to start writing some covered calls on SoFi probably after earnings into May. Hold on, I just gotta turn off a fan. But yeah, that's basically why I bought the SoFi shares, just to lower the cost basis, to make it easier for myself to write some covered calls and just sort of keep the money rotating a little bit in that wheeling account.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So as far as what's happening tonight, of course, we're going to find that out in less than an hour and a half now, or I guess right around an hour and a half. So we will know relatively soon. Do you think the timing of that is a coincidence, the deadline?
The timing of the deadline with what? When futures?
It's exactly when everything's closed, other than like 24-hour markets. So there's so much that Trump does. I'm like, is this all just focused on the market or what?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure at all, man, honestly. But like, largely, it's been a little bit of boy cried wolf, because he's had these like press conferences, and it's like, oh wow, like everybody, Trump's gonna say something, and all major networks have like interrupted programming because he's gonna have a press, and he doesn't say shit. Like, he doesn't say anything that he hasn't been saying through his tweets and truth posts for days and weeks. And it's just like, all right, dude, like every single, like the man is a master of building hype, and not great at like the follow through. Because I don't know why like people are still so hyped about it. Like, I don't think anybody would be surprised for him to push out that deadline, because the deadline was Monday, and he pushed it out to Tuesday. And watch, it's going to be like 7:30 p.m. and there's going to be a tweet that drops and be like, oh, we gave them another couple of days, and everybody's going to be like, oh my god, like. But it's like, why are you guys like? Why do you make such a big deal of these ultimatums when he's never held to any of the ultimatums? Like, he just keeps pushing them out, and they're always underwhelming events. So
that's the conspiracy theorist in me with the Pakistan, like the very public Pakistani plea of like, hey, let's do 2 weeks. My guess, and Pakistan is a pretty close ally, or has been with Washington for a while. This is something that maybe Trump and Trump's team hinted at and said, maybe it's better if we wait 2 weeks. What do you guys think? Yeah. Well, why don't you put out something like a PR statement there? Just a face-saving opportunity. Yeah. I love Taco Tuesday. But we'll see. I'm running a poll, by the way, and you might want to do the same, Tevis, just to see whether we actually get conflict resuming tonight, or a full ceasefire agreement, or just a pause.
All right,
so far, pause is winning on mine.
Let me throw out the poll. Did you get the new StreamYard update? Because I didn't get it, and maybe it was just an A/B test, and I'm in the. Because remember how Tanner was saying, like, oh, you could just throw it up on screen kind of thing?
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't get that. No, he remember he was telling me to, like, click on this button and do this thing, and I'm like,
oh, maybe I need...
Look at my screen. I don't have that. We are second class and second tier. It's clear.
Okay, I'm going to say it's Taco, it's escalation, or it's peace deal.
Okay, somebody just said Trump just tweeted.
Trump just tweeted. Why?
Here we go.
It's her life.
Yeah, it's well, I haven't read it all.
15-day ceasefire?
Throw this up. Based on conversations with Prime Minister and Field Marshal of Pakistan, wherein they requested that I hold off the destructive force being sent tonight to Iran, and subject to the Islamic Republic of Iran agreeing to the complete, immediate, and safe opening of the Strait of Hormuz, I agree to suspend the bombing and attack of Iran for a period of 2 weeks. There it is. See? Yeah, there it is.
We don't need a
this will be a double-sided ceasefire. This is actually really good. I didn't expect this. The reason for doing this, is that we have already met and exceeded all military objectives in a far-long and definitive agreement concerning long-term peace with Iran and peace in the Middle East. We received a 10-point proposal from Iran and believe it's a workable basis on which to be negotiated. Almost all the various points of past contention have agreed to between the United States and Iran, but a 2-week period will allow the agreement to be finalized and consummated on behalf of the United States. It sounds like, and I'm curious what others are saying as well. If this is double-sided, I think that means ships can move through Hormuz, which is really good news. Like, it's bad for VG, but like, good. I'm glad that's happening.
Yeah. Too bad I'm recording with my phone because I would have put a trade on right now, quite frankly.
What would you trade? What would you do?
I'd probably buy some shares of something.
It would be SoFi, wouldn't it?
I might just buy like double my meta position or something.
We're moving up pretty nicely. SoFi is up 3.72% after hours. Nebius is up 4%. Right, Palantir is up 2%. S&P 500 is up 1.3%. NASDAQ is up 1.4%. NVIDIA is up 1.4%. Nubank is even up. Bitmine's up almost 5%. Venture Global is down 4%. I guess it's going to zero. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, this is really good. Exactly kind of what we had talked about and what I thought would happen. I just didn't know about the double-sided nature. I was hoping that would happen. So good for markets. I still am skeptical, and I may, as we get closer to that time, so the way that the Trump stuff usually works out is he'll be so extreme on one way or the other. So this is extreme as far as extremely favorable, extremely likely to be able to finalize an agreement. My guess is it probably takes longer than 2 weeks. If you look at what Iran had proposed as far as the 10 points, some things that Trump had said as well, and you never know how much is a negotiating lever. It may be that they have to kick the can down the road a little bit more, in which case, not this next week, but the week after, I think we'll hear some rumblings as far as Trump and his team being dissatisfied with the way that things are progressing and skeptical and being very bombastic, which probably will lead to another kicking the can down the road, hopefully. I'd love to see a permanent positive resolution. But yeah, we'll have to see. So
yeah, you got to give me a sec. I'm just trying to put on a trade here.
Somebody said ETH is ripping. That makes sense because BMNR is, and risk on environment, maybe. Yeah, I would love that. Let's see what ETH is doing here. And I can't share my screen. I'm sorry, guys, just because Tevis has control.
Yeah, you can. Oh, I'm still here. I'm just on my phone. Just
okay. Give me just a second, and we'll pull up Legend. And let me hide my balances and stuff real quick. Okay, and then we'll go to Big. And yeah, that'll work. Okay. All right. So we'll do this one day. Reveal is 1 minute. Yeah, Robinhood is up very nicely as well, as to be expected. Let's look at BMNR. And it is flying up 3.2% total today. That's actually including the main market and after hours. You can see Ethereum is up about 4% over the last 24 hours. S&P 500, let's look at that. This is probably really hard for you guys to see, but like you can see the gigantic spike up.
I bought some stuff.
Okay, that's what you're doing. I see. Yeah. Bunch of SoFi?
No, I bought Meta.
Okay, nice. Yeah, there's SoFi up very nicely as well. So yeah, this is good. It kind of what I expected, except for the double-sided, so even better. We'll see how it actually progresses. But yeah, what I'm saying is not next week, but the week after, or maybe the Friday next week, I'll probably buy a little bit of downside protection, which I would imagine would look pretty cheap by that point, just in case, just because I want to hold on to some gains that I expect will be happening over the next week and a half. So this is awesome.
Just give me one quick second. I'll be right with you, sir.
Thanks, Patrick. Appreciate that. So yeah, Christmas tree, Christmas tree. You're going to back up maybe about 10 minutes or so, probably less than 10, and you'll actually see Trump's announcement. But it's a double-sided ceasefire for 2 weeks to give time to the negotiations to play out. Which this is actually the best case scenario for today. So no bombing civilizations back to the Stone Age. Very good. Bitcoin is now above 70,000 again. Robinhood, it's at 73. Very good. All right.
Hold on. Picked up some meta on the ceasefire news. I'll be right with you guys. All right. Let me put my camera back on. That was fun.
Yeah, 65% of the people in the poll, including anyone who votes now, I'm actually going to. We're right. So, yay.
Here's what I bought. I bought some meta. I bought there you go. Overnight picked up 100 shares of meta, 590. We'll see if that gets sold off or if it's, if we go above 600. Let me switch to the actual Webull so we can actually see some of what's going on here. All right. So yeah, meta went up to 592, back to 489. Let's see. Hood is up 4%. BMNR is up 4.5%. SOFA is up 3%. VG is down 7%. 1490. Loving it. I love that.
Yeah, I know. Like, I own BG, and I'm like, hey, that's fine. If BG is tanking, the rest of my portfolio is doing really well. 95% is doing well. Give me that anytime.
Yeah, I'm glad I rolled out the covered calls now because this is like exactly like I'm fine with that. And Micron 4% up. EOSE Lemonade back over 60. Let's go to the wider list here. Dude, UNH, did you see the UNH move from look at this?
Yeah. I didn't look at UNH was the one that I saw. I heard Oscar was up pretty decently today, as well as other insurance companies on the back of the higher premium. I think I heard 200 over. It was over 200 basis points, basically, of improvement what they could be able to charge over what was actually expected going in. So that was a meaningful increase for the insurance guys. So congrats if anyone's holding those. Not my play, but.
Yeah. Let's see what is down. VG next. Next is down. Holy crap. Next is at $9. Jesus Christ. All right. Roy, there's a new rule. We're never not listening to Matt again, okay?
Yeah. I'm glad I listened to him on VG.
Wow. This is going to be a great open if this holds by tomorrow.
So, like, I usually don't trust after hours moves, and I think on open we tend to flush hard the other direction. But this is really bullish, especially ships being able to move in and out of Hormuz. The real danger sign, and it's not just for all these companies, but also for VG, like long term. You don't want to see LNG like spike like crazy because if people move to alternatives, it takes a long time. It's not done easily, but yeah. But it's hard to see something come out that would actually trump this in terms of a catalyst. We're down quite a bit, especially in a lot of names. I'm not talking about the broader index. It's down a bit, but man, I think a lot of us have been sitting on portfolios that are probably red this year, myself included. I don't know if this will. Well, with Aehr moving down, I don't think it'll be enough to put me back to like positive on the year, but it's a good feeling. So.
Yeah, it is a good feeling. I did use margin, Jess. I don't just have like 60K just lying around in cash in this market. So But that's fine. I'm gonna write covered calls against it, and lowers my cost basis on Meta. And I have a couple. We'll see. I have a couple of other options if I like absolutely need to get out. I'm also gonna like fund the account over the next couple of weeks as well. So I'm not too worried about it, but could end up eating those words if we go down significantly. But I don't know, man. I felt like Meta was the one that I was like, oh man, like I would be stupid to not take advantage of this price action because it dipped so far down, and I didn't buy it in the low 500s on margin because obviously we didn't have certainty. But if we have a 2-week ceasefire, and I'm high confidence that that's gonna hold at least temporarily, then I'd buy it the moment that I know that news drops. And the reason why is because, well, we're also heading into earnings. I think funds are going to reposition ahead of earnings. So I think a week before earnings, 2 weeks before earnings, like you could see some rallies, especially on the back of this. Like normally you see rallies into some names for earnings as funds reposition and the big guys change around, like they make bets for earnings. Especially now, I think you're going to see it because you have a macro uncertainty alleviated, right? So at least for 2 weeks, we know that there's not going to be like take his phone away. There's not going to be any more tweeting, hopefully. And so that's why I felt confident enough to just pick up 100 shares. It's not, yeah, and confident enough to like, oh well, I think I can profit off of that move, and if needed, get out of them just as quickly. I don't know. It's a risky move, obviously, but like you guys have come to expect this from me.
Yeah, I would expect nothing else. And yeah, people, there's only one Tevis, so just be careful trying to emulate him. You can try, but you're going to fall short. So, yeah, what do you think about my theory when you were busily trying to close that trade and post about it in the middle of our live stream? Mind you, it's fine. I just like to razz you. But the theory of like
listening to anything you were saying.
So we've seen Trump is usually way extreme versus what the reality is on either side. Right now, like he is exuberant and very, very bullish and like, yeah, there's going to be a deal done and it's going to be awesome and whatever. We have a 2-week timer. So we have, the rest of this week. And I expect we're not going to hear anything negative the rest of this week into the weekend. And then we have all the rest of next week and then the start of the other. So I'm kind of thinking towards the end of next week, and it could happen before as well, that we start hearing rumblings again that no, they're not agreeing to this. And they're, we might have to bond them back to the Stone Age and X, Y, and Z. So I'm not trying to time the market. I'm not trying to be a trader. I do swing a little bit. But I'm basically thinking of buying some downside protection. We'll see what's happening, but maybe like 8 or 9 days from now.
Yeah. I think you can have very strongly worded messages going both ways as early as tomorrow even. I don't know how long the ceasefire will hold, but I rest assured in the fact that the U.S. doesn't want to be in this conflict. They want to get out. I don't know about, the other guys.
Yeah.
They might break it. Probably. I think, didn't they break there was like many ceasefires in the Gaza thing, and those were broken multiple times by both sides, I think. I don't know. I'm misremembering it maybe, but so this is why, like, yes, downside protection is good. But at the same time, Roy, I think there is a vested interest in actually working towards a compromise as opposed to having this escalate. Like, I don't think it's crazy, man. Like I spoke to somebody today who was from Iran, and I won't share too much, but yeah, he was basically saying that like it's insane how Iran thus far has not been willing to negotiate. The regime hasn't, because it's like you're seeing, or you're gonna see, basic infrastructure get hit as well. And he was talking to his parents back there, like when we were grabbing lunch, and he was talking to his parents back home, and he's like, "Sorry, I had to take that call because like I don't know when the next time uh, I'll be able to chat with them is because they're not going to have internet, tomorrow. So like there's like internet blackouts, electricity blackouts, and it's just like, dude, it's in the best interest of both sides to not have that conflict. And so I think for that reason, I'm confident in the ceasefire. I don't know if it's going to last or not, but logically, it makes sense for it to last.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it'll be violated, at least by those two parties, and hopefully not Israel either. But yeah, don't want to venture too far into the political stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is great news though. And yeah, Aehr is actually maybe like the only stock out there. I mean, I'm sure there's a few others that's down after hours just because this news is so good, and it's down 1%. Man, I guess it's going to zero.
Yeah.
Now, oil is about to go below 100. Okay, we got to pull that up.
Wow, really?
Let me actually throw up a couple of the futures charts here. I don't trade futures, by the way, but okay, so this is TTF, and it's actually increased a little bit, but let's see. I want to see what the natural gas is. I think this is yeah, it's actually down a little bit, and then we're going to see WTI. I don't care about Brent crude as much, but with WTI there, yeah, WTI is actually 100. It's fallen off a cliff. My goodness. Here's the 1 day. It's trading like a penny stock or silver. Man, that is a drop. Okay, let's look at Brent. Wait, they sometimes have it on here. Yeah, I never look at this, so, but it is, yeah, it's under 100. That's awesome.
Yeah, we so BG is currently down 8%, y'all. Nebius over 5% up, Roy, at 123.50. It is looking good. Let me throw this back up.
Yeah, and we need to talk to Nebius too.
Yeah, I need to make a Nebius video. I haven't done that. Look at this, baby. 124. And you know what this means? This means that I can finally close my puts at a very healthy profit because I was too stubborn to close them when Nebius went to 130. And I was like, oh man, that was probably a poor decision on my part. But guess not. Guess not. Guess I can close them now. Yeah.
The Nasdaq's up 2%, 2.04%. That's crazy. I mean, it's not crazy, but that's a big after hours move.
Yeah, seriously, bro. Open the market.
So, all-time high win for the S&P.
All-time high win for the S&P? What do you mean?
When do you think we get to an all-time high?
Oh, when do we get to an all-time high? How far off are we? We're not even that far off, dude.
Not that far off.
Like single-digit percent. Like we're what, 3% off?
I think we are 7% off. 6 or 7% off.
Again, man, I don't know. I don't want to say something and then just end up eating my words, but
670,
oh, wow.
695. Yeah, we're actually.
CNN is reporting that Israel has also agreed to a ceasefire.
Okay. Yeah. No, you're right. We're like 3.5%, 4% away from all-time high. So,
tomorrow,
man. Well, okay. So, it like realistically, we're looking at up 2% on the Nasdaq. If it goes up a little more tomorrow, like are we like up 3% or 4? Probably not 4. It's hard to get that, but maybe. I mean, we did get that on Liberation Day after it was retracted, after we had the nice taco event.
What a crazy day that was. Like somebody recirculated the heat map from Liberation Day, and I looked at it recently, and all the hyperscalers, like all the Mag 7s were up like 10% each. And I'm like, holy crap, man. That day was one for the history books, that's for sure. But I don't. So, Roy, what do you think? Like, okay, 2 weeks ceasefire is 2 weeks ceasefire, and it buys us time for talks to continue and hopefully in a positive direction. But like, do you think the reaction that we have right now is fairly the same as the reaction we would have had if they just announced a full deal, or do you think it would be much more um, accentuated if we had a deal as opposed to a ceasefire?
It'd be more accentuated. I
You
think.
think so?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's speculation here. Like you're part of the speculation wave too, but that is like certainty when you have like this is a lasting agreement. It's a permanent agreement to do whatever, and even if there's some things in there that the market wouldn't really love, like I don't know that they would love the idea of a toll booth that's happening in Hormuz because it can happen in other places too. That increases the cost of shipping or moving around a lot of different stuff. Well, maybe that's not the best, but. Yeah, I think it would move up even higher. Like we might have seen the Nasdaq move up like 4% afterwards. Yeah, SoFi, that was Tevis's hedge of in case there was good news, right?
$17 right now.
Yeah, dude, that's
And
awesome.
I hope we go to 1750 just so I can tag Chris Patel and be like, I'm sorry, what'd you say? Because he commented.
Love Chris.
SoFi's
We
not-
both do.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is. I think he's just engaged in SoFi just for the clicks mostly. I don't think it's genuine.
Yeah, I mean, like he's a super smart guy, and I have a lot of respect for him, and he has amazing picks. But I think where SoFi is concerned, he loves like picking at that scab, let's say, and then the SoFi shareholders have maybe not had the best go about it with from falling from 32 to 17. And I think he just loves being kind of like a shit disturber. That's fine, man. That's all good. I mean, it's nothing that the community isn't used to at this point.
Well, yeah, he loves being a contrarian too, and like he was out on Palantir. He was bullish on Palantir, and when it went up like to $13 or something, he sold it all, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he kind of lost sight of what it was. So I think he's more bullish on Palantir now, but. Yeah, he's made a lot of money too, but we all have blind spots, and that's one of his for sure.
Wow. Apparently, China made a last-minute intervention asking Iran to show flexibility.
Good.
And so, like, the strait is completely open now. And, yeah, China apparently got involved, and they're like, listen, my man, you got to open this shit up because Iran has announced, well, we'll see, but, like, they've officially accepted the ceasefire. This is all breaking news, by the way. Like we are getting this in real time as we are on the stream.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oil is below 100 as far as futures.
Yeah, so I saw Mario, what's his face, comment on the China piece. I'm sure more people are going to be covering it, but yeah, I mean, like everybody has a vested interest in this frigging strait being opened up, man. And like, I wouldn't be surprised, Roy, if as early as like as soon as we get an actual ceasefire, we actually see some infrastructure projects to reduce the dependence on this fucking strait, man. Because it's like it has opened the door for future, like it set a precedent for future cases that like, okay, well, the entire world's lifeblood can be held hostage now by one country or two countries, and like good luck with that. And
yeah,
especially if that idea of like a toll booth is something that's there to stay, even though it's like against like international law. If for whatever reason that idea of a toll booth is there to stay, well, guess what? Saudis, UAE, all of these vested interested parties are going to be investing in other possible passages, other possible alternatives. I don't know. I'm just speaking logically, right? Like I'm not a geopolitical expert. I'm just saying like, you cannot have that volume passing through that strait be held hostage again. You just can't.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what the ultimate ceasefire arrangement looks like. And yeah, we still haven't seen anything out of Iran yet. And there are some people that are starting to post on it. I don't think that that's necessarily problematic. It's a little unusual, but I guess it's probably the middle of the night over there. So,
Yeah, no, it's like probably early morning over there. Let's see. Time in Iran. It's 2:30 in the morning. Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, given the parties that are involved, like it's not just the United States and Trump saying this. Israel has agreed, apparently, and China and Pakistan both were leaning on and encouraging Iran to agree to this too. So we'll have to see, but it's a good thing for the world. If there are things flowing through Hormuz, it's very good. So this also is like really bullish. There was concerns with not just oil, not just natural gas, but helium. Of course, 30% of the world's helium comes out of Qatar. Now, I think the one challenge is, and I don't think that we're going to see Qatar reopen their Ras Laffan field. They're not going to be producing really anything. It takes a while to ramp that anyway. They may have some cargoes that they actually ship out, which would be a good thing, but it takes a while to restart that. Previously, they were estimating about a month for full capacity. There's 15% of the capacity that has been damaged to the extent that it'll take, they said, up to 5 years. So it doesn't immediately resolve anything, and I think that as far as some things happening, we're going to probably have to wait and see, just to see if there is an actual meaningful deal. But
yeah, I think like we need right now Iran to come out and confirm this freaking thing, because if they if they backtrack and turn this rally around, I'm signing up for the front lines. I'm just kidding. that will piss me off. Like we need a confirmation here, guys.
A confirmation would be nice, but yeah, we'll have to see. Okay, so do you want to jump into Q&A, or we can talk a little bit?
No.
We can talk Anthropic.
Anthropic. Okay.
Yes.
So let's hold on. I posted this, and okay, you want to throw it up? Sure.
Yeah. So OpenAI and Anthropic are projected to sharply increase AI model training spend throughout the rest of the decade, and we'll talk about like what that actually means. But it's very bullish, and this is really good for like anything touching AI. Aehr Test Systems, NVIDIA, TSMC, on semi. It's good for memory manufacturers. It's good for hard drives. It's really good for inference. And the extent of this, I'll pull up. There was a tweet from yesterday, right here. Our run rate revenue has surpassed 30 billion.
Crazy.
This is insane. Up from 9 billion at the end of 2025. How was that, like 9 months ago, or it feels like it was? But no,
wasn't it like 11 billion last month, or 17 or something? Hold on.
They did say. I don't know if they said
here. Let me throw up my screen.
Okay, before you do. Oh, okay, that's fine.
Look at that, Roy. Look at that. Yeah,
that looks parabolic. That's an
exactly, man. Like, what the heck is going on here? So yeah, it's from like 18 billion last month to now 30 billion. Craziness.
So this was my first reaction when I saw it, Tevis, if you can throw this up. And this is very analytical and technical, but inference.
It's
but like for real, like there's many beneficiaries, and people are like, well, what about this? And it's like, dude, there's so many winners here. But yeah, the bottom line is like, if Anthropic or OpenAI or Gemini or a combination, more likely than of all these, is just going to continue to relentlessly increase revenue, increase use cases, and the use cases for sure is happening. Man, there's such a huge need for inference, and Nebius, of course, has held up very well despite the macro and is pumping tonight. So I got to thank you, Tevis, for. I was in it before you, but just as I ended up getting out as a swing, but you called me back, and I am locked and loaded, and I love it.
It's going to be a fun ride. Apparently, Iran has accepted, but it's like, so that's a pro. The con is it's New York Times that's reporting it. So I'm still holding my breath over here. Yeah, it's going to be a fun ride with Nebius. And there's one other Nebius post that I want to throw up here with regards to that news. And that is, of course, our very own Manuel, who said 5 months ago, Anthropic guided for 20 to 26 billion in ARR by year end 26, up from 9 billion. Everyone thought it was unrealistic. We're in April, and they've already reached 30 billion. Anthropic runs its observability data on ClickHouse, built on a usage-based model. And if you guys don't know, Nebius is an owner of ClickHouse. It's one of the biggest shareholders of ClickHouse. ClickHouse also works with OpenAI, Tesla, Meta, Microsoft, Cloudflare, and many other AI leaders. With inference demand exploding, things will only get better from here. In the medium term, Nebius's 25% stake in ClickHouse could easily be worth more than $10 billion. And just a reminder for you guys that Nebius is currently trading for under $30 billion, about $29 billion. So if just their ClickHouse stake is 10 billion, well, Nebius is undervalued. Is basically the gist of that story. So just keep that in mind. I think the usage-based model is really powerful, especially because you're in a heated arms race right now between Anthropic and OpenAI, and ClickHouse is just supplying both sides.
Okay, so I guess two questions on ClickHouse specifically, Nebius, and I don't know the answer to these. And if you don't, that's it may not be known. One is, what is your assessment? So they're not a 10 billion valuation probably for 25% of ClickHouse yet. That's something that Manuel is kind of projecting. That could happen in a year. Is there a scenario where you see them like they've already raised all their capex that they need basically through the end of the year? They're probably raised before the end of the year because you don't want to get down to zero and then be like, oh, we should raise. But is there a scenario where instead of the raise, they say, hey, let's go ahead and sell this stake in ClickHouse?
Yes, there is. They even mentioned this on the last earnings call where they were saying we're open to the idea of selling stakes as a way to fund capex. I don't necessarily think they're going to be pressed to do it in 2026, Roy, because they've already funded the 16 to 20 billion in capex that they need for 2026. Now, I don't know what their capex ambitions are going to be in 2027. Like we see in 2026, they're basically doubling their data center presence. What, like 16, 17 data centers they have, up from what, 9 or 8, something like that, like a really drastic increase. And, I don't think they need to sell the ClickHouse valuation. What I think is going to be more interesting, and if I'm thinking about it, I'm sure Nebius's management has like this modeled out, is Databricks is still planning to IPO this year. ClickHouse, and this is again why this was in my predictions for 2026, is I thought ClickHouse was going to raise another round as a result of Databricks. But what ClickHouse went ahead and did is they raised their Series D in January, raising $400 million at, what was it? The valuation, $15 billion valuation. And so, okay, well, they did it before Databricks even IPO'd. But what we also know about ClickHouse is that every 6 months they raise more money. They raised money. They raised their Series C in May of 2025, and they raised their Series D in January of 2026. I would be shocked, Roy, if ClickHouse did not raise more money before the end of 2026. I'd be shocked if that were the case. I think they're going to raise more money. I think it's a no-brainer. I think they're going to leverage the rally that we're going to have until the end of the year and the Databricks IPO to command a higher premium. And if ClickHouse is now servicing Anthropic and OpenAI, both on a usage-based model, and both those companies want to IPO by the end of the year, well, all of a sudden, I think there's a very compelling case to be made for ClickHouse. And let's just say ClickHouse raises another round that values them at $25 billion, right? Or $20 billion. Well, all of a sudden, Nebius has 25% of that, right? And so you could see a case where Nebius's stake in ClickHouse is significantly higher than what it is right now. And it wouldn't be valuable for Nebius to sell it so soon, especially because they're fully funded for 2026. So there's no pressure there. Now, Manuel was saying, hey, look, Nebius's stake could be up like $10 billion even, which would value ClickHouse at $40 billion, which is bigger than Nebius is currently right now. And so, but that's over the medium term. I'm saying within the next 12 months, we could see a doubling of ClickHouse roughly, and Nebius's stake would also double. If that
Yeah.
happens, insanely bullish.
Yeah. We need to thank two donors, one on your end and one on mine. So super terrific happy hour. Thank you so much for the donation and for saying thanks for the content. That means a lot. And the show would just be Tevis and I shooting the breeze if it wasn't for you guys. You guys really make the show fun. So, and then Tevis, there's one on your end too.
Yeah. Thank you, Deep AI. Every single time this guy donates money, man, he makes me read his name, and I crack up every single time. He says there's only one AI leader. Deep AI is the AI leader. Thank you for the $2. My advertising on his channel, I realize, is very cheap. So
$2. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, there are some messages for donations we would like. Yeah, maybe we'll read that one, but it's few. Yeah, it's so. The other thing that I wanted to ask, and you hit the nail on the head, was if ClickHouse you thought would IPO within the next 12 months or so, or are you looking at 2 years or 3 years? That's something I didn't know, and you mentioned it. So yeah, those are my two questions related to that.
Okay, we still haven't talked about what I want to talk about, which is the new Anthropic model. Roy, let me just do a spiel on this, please. So we got this new Anthropic model called Mythos, and
Mythos.
and basically Anthropic came out with this post. First of all, let's look at the benchmarks, dude. It just smokes Opus 4.6 in every single category. They are now previewing it. Anthropic is, and they released this entire article. And the article is here for everybody to read. Project Glasswing, new initiative bringing together AWS, Anthropic, Apple, Broadcom, and a bunch of others in an effort to secure the world's most critical software. We formed Project Glasswing because of the capabilities we've observed in the frontier model trained by Anthropic that we believe could reshape cybersecurity. And by the way, was it CrowdStrike that was up 5% as a result of this today? One of them. I think it was CrowdStrike that was up 5% today. Now, look at this, Roy. So we got. I just want to read a little bit of this. So basically, this post here is the TLDR version of this entire article here, right? Now, I don't know if you've seen this. So the part that you know, because I've shared, we shared it in the private chat, was that it's not going to be releasing to the public. Okay, it's not going to be releasing to the public because it's too powerful, and they need to have guardrails. This is what the project, whatever the fuck it was called, Glasswing, is doing, is meeting with everybody so that we can set guardrails for this thing. Why? It found day zero vulnerabilities in every major OS, every major web browser, fully autonomously with no human guidance. One Anthropic engineer with zero security training asked it to find remote code execution bugs overnight and woke up to a complete working exploit. The oldest bug it discovered was a 27-year-old vulnerability in OpenBSD, an operating system that is literally famous for being secure. Over the coming months and years, this is what OpenAI said, over the coming months and years, we expect that language models, those trained by us and others, will continue to improve along all axes, including vulnerability research and exploit development. I'm going to skip the benchmarks because you guys saw that. Here's what I thought was interesting. It found a 16-year-old FFmpeg bug hit 5 million times without detection. So basically, this is the tech that Netflix runs, that pretty much every video, browsers, like everything runs it. There's been 5 million automated test runs on this over 20 or over 16 years, and they haven't found this bug, which the AI just found. Like, think about that. You have something that millions of people see on a regular basis for decades, thousands of engineers, they don't find it, and then you have an AI model that just like finds it.
That's amazing. Like the word "every," like that is just wow. Yeah,
It's
I
crazy.
agree with them not releasing it. Well, you're going to get into that, but yeah,
It's crazy.
it's
It's crazy. Anthropic said, we find it alarming that the world looks on track to proceed rapidly to developing superhuman systems without stronger mechanisms in place. And quite frankly, like, I think obviously a good move for Anthropic to actually be a little bit ethical about the launch of this, to say, actually, this is way too powerful for regular people to just now have, because not only is this going to disrupt um, software engineers, but it's just you don't even know what the full capabilities of this are going to be like. And so they need to lock it down. They need to team up with the biggest players in the space, and they need to start thinking about what are the safeguards that they can internally test, because this is just way too strong. And I think there's a lot of disruption. Like when I read things like this, it makes me truly worry, um, because
it's
up until
disruptive.
now, publicly available, like we have something that can maybe replace a junior engineer or an intermediate engineer, perhaps, but it still creates bugs and it writes spaghetti code every here and there. Like this can replace the most expert engineers in the world in many small tests, right? Like, and the fact that I found all of these security vulnerabilities across the board is even crazier, because that's just testament to the power of this thing. So yeah, I mean, there's also like that rumor. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I shared it with you that like this leaked, and they didn't really know why it leaked. And the thesis was that like it actually went and it leaked itself so that it could ensure that it had survival. And it's like, all right, we've reached AGI. This is crazy. The model is leaking itself to ensure that it actually,
Survives. Yeah.
survives.
Yeah, I mean, we're not at AGI, and I think even when we hit it, it'll take some time to recognize it because there will be skeptics, and some of the models are at times very good at mimicking AGI behavior, which doesn't mean AGI. But then you encounter things like today, which I'm not using like the newest model, and it is OpenAI, but I was trying to read this. I think it was a journal article on. It was an anthropological report that somebody wrote like years ago in German, and I'm like, okay, here is the actual PDF. Summarize this for me, and it was wildly inaccurate, and I don't know German, so thankfully there's other models that did a better job, but it like made things up. I'm like, okay, maybe it just doesn't know German, but yeah, we're the cool thing about this too, Tevis, is the more that you see this type of event happening, the more that there is a need for everything else in AI. So it's all interrelated, and it is scary because it's disruptive. And it seems like that the way that this technology tends to move forward is by like not just in a straight line, but that there are these leaps that happen, and then the people can freak out about it or get really excited. But okay, so we one last question maybe here, and then can you go and pull up the charts from Webull? Let's look at some price action. I'm seeing SoFi, and it looks pretty nice. But do
Did
you
this
think that we have had enough time with the market very fixated on the Hormuz and Iran narrative that it kind of maybe is not weighing AI, the two contra narratives as
Bro,
much?
did this ceasefire get broken like 5 minutes in? Uh, Iran just launched missiles towards Israel after ceasefire confirmation, and I'm seeing everybody now report that ceasefire just lasted 2 minutes apparently. But maybe that was just like somebody with a trigger finger, and we're gonna look past it.
Yeah, they might allow one, but if it happens again, then we're done. So yeah, I would be surprised if I mean like probably rogue actor, who knows? But if China is weighing in on Iran, China is so important to them.
Yeah.
I if I was Iran, I wouldn't want to make them mad. Like they are in your corner, you want to keep them there. They want oil. They want things open in Hormuz. I would fear that more than U.S. retaliation and Israel.
What is going on?
Okay, pull up the charts.
Yeah, pull up. Wait, what charts are we looking at?
Just your watch list on Webull.
Oh, we're
We'll
looking
pull
at
up some
Webull.
other names too, some crypto names, but it's
Sure, man.
wild price action.
Yes, sir. Okay, BMNR up about 7%. SoFi up about 7%. Hoods up about 7%. Lemonade the same. Nebius about 6% here at 124 a share. VG down 9%.
Good.
Yeah.
Can you pull up Ethereum and Bitcoin as well?
I can't.
And also
I
Aehr
can't.
Test Systems.
On
you don't need to pull
Webull.
Aehr.
I don't know. Can you do it on Webull? I can't do it on Webull.
I think you have to put the CCC after, and it has to be the USD. Yeah, don't worry about it. So, yeah, Figure Technologies is up about 6%. S&P 500 2.18%. Nasdaq 2.56%. Nubank's up 5%. That's kind of crazy. Robinhood up 7%. Let's look at crypto real quick. And I know you guys are just looking at my face, but yeah, we're just doing this on the quick. Then we're going to get into questions. So Bitcoin is up 4.5%. Ethereum up 6.28%. Solana up 7.5%. There's a bunch of little ones that are up double digits.
Okay, hold on.
And Aehr is now up in the after hours. Must have been a good earnings, right?
Hold up. Here we go.
Flat.
Ethereum is at 2,250. Let's freaking go. We have BTC up about 5% to 71,000. XRP is up. BNB Solana is up 7.6%, $85 per share. And yeah, crypto's up across the board. Crypto's up.
Hopefully the ceasefire holds.
Dude, yeah. Like, I don't care if it breaks after 2 weeks. I just need 2 weeks of good news, man, please. Crude oil. Wow. Dude, oil is just plummeting.
Yep, it's good. Okay, you ready for Q&A?
Yeah, sure, we can do Q&A. Thanks, Steve. Let's
go.
After
hours today for Meta. Maybe.
We don't know yet. Oh, Meta's at $5.99. Wow.
It's very nice. Okay,
let's go. If you guys have questions, please leave them in the comments below, and we will cover them on the show. Let's jump in. Tommy Jerry says, is it time to buy or wait for another 2 weeks? This was before the ceasefire news, by the way. This is at the start of the show.
Tommy, if you are still in the past before the agreement, buy. Now, like, if anybody knows whether or not this thing's going to last, if it'll last more than 2 minutes,
so
maybe. Yeah, so just be careful. But, like, honestly, like, if you're a long-term investor, just buy quality names at prices you like and hold it long-term. And it's that simple.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think you should be timing it on a week by week basis. Like, yeah, there is probably an ideal day or two to get in, but I think, like, again, like, why did I buy SoFi yesterday? Not because I thought there was going to be a ceasefire today, but because I thought, but like, we're trending towards the end of this thing, right? Like, from all that we've been hearing and all that we've been seeing and all the vested interests out there, it's like we're trending towards the end of this thing. And so I think, like, it's top of mind for everybody right now, but fast forward to like July, it's going to be an afterthought. I hope, and I think, but I hope it's going to be an afterthought. I mean, people are going to be focused, like, it's going to be summer, the World Cup is going to be on, and Anthropic is going to be releasing something new. SpaceX is going to be going public, so you think there's more things that enter the news cycle. And so the market is going to prove to be resilient. I think earnings is going to start to overtake some of the news cycles as well over the next couple of weeks, especially then if we get like an actual ceasefire. And then after that, you're going to get, buzz or uncertainty or news going into the midterms. And so I don't know, maybe that's overly optimistic, but I mean, when you're investing, it pays to be optimistic, right? Because you see
Yeah.
it glass half full and you'll profit as a result of it. So that's why I did it. It wasn't, some genius timing on my part to be like, oh yeah, I think there's gonna be a ceasefire, therefore I'm gonna buy Sofa today and sell in 2 days. Like, who cares? I want to hold this thing. I think the company is fundamentally behaving terrifically. The results are speaking for themselves, and so I don't think the day by day increment should factor into your decision making if you plan on holding for a longer period of time.
Yeah, exactly.
Aehr, did they have any comments on DRAM testing, Roy?
Yes. Yeah, they actually have the transcript now. So I'll show you just a couple of quick things on that. It's Q&A, so I won't be super exhaustive. So if you could throw this up, Tevis.
Yeah.
So they actually talked quite a bit on memory. And so they said, we're also now in discussions with other key memory suppliers. And again, it's largely a triopoly that also produce high bandwidth memory, the new DRAM standard being used in AI GPUs. In addition to standard DRAM and flash memory, the HBM, as they're referred to, are embedded into multi-chip packages. They talked a little bit more of it too. And then there was one Q&A question. I think it was Craig. It was Larry. Let's see. Okay. So more on HBF. So another memory topic as well. This was interesting. So he said, as far as expected cells, they've been talking about memory for a while. It's not a large segment for them. They don't do wafer level testing of memory, and it's been a major issue for them on a couple of fronts. Last year, it was more like on the testing and verification side with that bathtub curve that we talked about in that deep dive. But anyway, and also throughput has been an issue. So he asked, did I hear you say that your first expected XP sales to an HBM customer will be this calendar year or next fiscal year? And he was like, well, we'll see. Didn't want to get something concrete. And usually in that case, he's not able to because he likes to give detail when he can. But he says, what I will tell you is that we've identified some interesting opportunities with HBM, probably the new 4E that has some interesting challenges that people would really like to do wafer level burn on. Between our Fox system as it stands on the roadmap, we've been working on, as people know, with a team of people here from Memory Extension to the Fox system to add what we would call channel modules into the Fox that makes memory focused. We think that there's some real overlap there. That, just as you know, Larry, you follow this a lot, that's an uptick, okay? And yeah, they're very excited about that. By uptick, like that is understatement. That would be potentially like a doubling of revenue from here easily. Not a doubling of revenue in a few quarters, but it's very, very accretive. And like Larry said, there's a lot of irons in the fire. There are so many. And I need to do this at some point, like kind of post where people are at as far as within this pipeline. So yeah, to answer that question, yes, quite a bit, and it's not just DRAM.
Yep. So just marking that question done. We interrupt the Q&A because Iran's foreign minister just released a statement, Roy. I'd love...
Let me see if I can guess the statement based on price movement of the stock.
Yeah.
Okay, and yeah, looks like it was good.
Yeah.
Ish.
Looking at the stock, he said, quote, Dow 50,000. So let's give this a quick read, guys. Saying safe passage through Strait is going to be possible through coordination with the armed forces with due consideration of technical limitations. Don't love that. Let's actually read the statement ourselves. So this is straight from his X account. X is truly the global town square because you have news that breaks from officials just posting on X as opposed to anywhere else. You don't see him posting on Instagram with this shit. This is the foreign minister for Iran saying, quote, on behalf of the Islamic Republic of Iran, I express gratitude and appreciation for my dear brothers, HE, Prime Minister of Pakistan, blah, 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 HE Field Marshal, and their tireless efforts to end the war in the region. In response to the request of the Prime Minister in his tweet, I love that. Like, he just calls out the tweet. And considering the request by the U.S., interesting, for negotiations based on its 15-point proposal, as well as the announcement by POTUS about acceptance of the general framework of Iran's 10-point proposal as a basis for the negotiations, I hereby declare on behalf of Iran's Supreme National Security Council, if attacks against Iran are halted, our powerful armed forces will cease their defensive operations. Have you noticed, Roy, how more and more elected officials around the world are adopting Trump's syntax and cadence? Like this, they're like powerful and armed and forces. They do not need to be capitalized. This is like Trump syntax 101. Anyways, not the point. Continuing, for a period of 2 weeks, safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz will be possible through coordination with Iran's armed forces and with due consideration of technical limitations. Hell yeah, baby. We are going higher, is the TLDR. We are back. We are back. We are back. And he has the back in the thumbnail. So yeah, pretty interesting stuff there. Thoughts?
Yeah, no, that's good. Like if they were like, "What? There's been no agreement. What are you talking about?" That would have been like instantly erasing and actually negative. So I didn't think that was likely given the players involved. And yeah, it sounds like, um, I think that we'll at least make it close to the end of that ceasefire before we see anything otherwise. Yeah, it should be a couple of good weeks.
I don't want
perfect time for earnings,
dude. How much PTSD, like, do you have to be like, I don't know if we're gonna make it to the end of the ceasefire. I just don't want to give up all the gains by the morning tomorrow. Like, because that's where I am mentally. I'm just like, please let this, like, if we could open the market right now, I'd be happy. Let alone 2 weeks. Like, that's how shell shocked we all are.
Yeah, so like one of the challenges is like this is not a permanent settlement and agreement. The market loves certainty, and we could see a lot of people taking profits and just saying, "Hey,
Jack, the price is $100." All right, he told you this.
I think that's what I said. Yeah,
he did.
But yeah, no, we could see a lot of profit taking. So like, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, especially a run like this, you're going to see some people do that. There's traders. There's speculators. Like the big question is, what do institutions do? And I expected they'll probably come out with some statements tomorrow, but I don't think they're going to go all in here. Like they don't do that anyway. But will they start buying a little bit more aggressively? Maybe. So if so, that'll give us a higher leg up. But it would be really funny. Like I was expecting that we'd have a new all-time high by the end of the year, like in that last quarter as we near midterms. It could be hilarious if we had it next week. I would say probably not, but who knows?
All right. Continuing in just one quick second. Just changing the title of the stream because it's like underperforming really hard, and I suspect it's as a result of me having Aehr in the title. People don't know what's
do it.
Yeah.
Plus, there's probably some other big streamers that are live. Duck, thank you for the gift of 5 memberships. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, Duck gifted both of us 5 memberships. Very generous. Thank you, and congrats to everybody who was just given a membership by the one, the only, the Duck Hammer. I knew him before his name changed, so there you go.
Yeah.
All right, let's get on with this. Did you guys see the spy? Yeah, this was before the actual news. By the second half, do you mean Aehr second half fiscal year or calendar year second half?
I think that's a reference to the revenue ramp, and that is the second half of our year, 2026. So, and their second half starts May 30th. It'll be a month later next year. They talked about that. Yeah, it's very clear acceleration. Not only the next quarter that they report, it'll be double what it has been here, which is nice. But the 80 million is probably closer to what they get in the second half. Probably higher than that in terms of revenue, just because there's usually, like, this is just referring to bookings. There's also some persistent revenue because of services, wafer packs, die packs, and so forth. So plus there's still time to get orders in now and have them shipped out by the end of the year, which is revenue. So yeah, nice ramp in our year of 2026. was about to say in the year of the Lord 2026.
Holy moly. Jack
Wow.
says, I grant 5 days to turn the paddle. Thank you for your attention on this matter.
Yeah, the problem is, Jack, I think you gave it to the wrong guy.
No. No. Jack. That's not good, man. I've never been more sad to receive $100. Sorry, Jack. Still love you though. It's
Thank
all
you
right.
for donating to Tether.
I'll e-transfer Roy. Don't worry. We'll figure it out behind the scenes, Jack.
Yeah, we still have not met each other in real life, so you can buy me lunch or dinner or something. I'm really nice.
Yeah, exactly. I will. I'll definitely treat Roy next time in Houston, and I'm gonna be in Houston at some point in 2026. Is my commitment. Because I want to go to that meetup if and when that does end up happening this year. And yeah, we'll see what happens. We're giving up some of these gains a little bit.
Traders.
To be expected.
Traders? No. It happens with any big run. It's inevitable. People want to take gains, but especially when gains have been fleeting and you see something like Iran, shooting off a couple last minute missiles, you're going to see that. So I expect tomorrow we'll see some gains being taken when the market opens up. Don't be shocked. Don't be shocked if we I don't think we'd go negative tomorrow. I'd be really surprised. We're still up hugely on the S&P 500. That's 2.22%, 2.73% on NASDAQ. But traders are going to trade. People are going to take profits. And it's not wrong to take profits either. If you're hey, I'm up big on whatever, and I made a speculative bet because I was doing my Aehr Test, it's okay to take gains.
Jack with another $100.
Oh.
Saying, quote,
okay, Jack, I'm going to do it then. Let me turn off my camera so I don't feel stupid trying to do it. But thank you so much. That's really kind of you, man. So, well, I'm going to have to adjust the nails. I was thinking I might fall over if I did that. So,
hey, that looks
so
good.
It'll be a little higher.
That looks really good.
But I appreciate that, man. I'll get the nails installed properly after this. So appreciate it. I was just joking. You didn't have to do it, but man, yes, I'll take it.
Very, very generous. Thank you, Jack, for those donations. And Deepcheeks AI saying, I got you, Tevis. It will be okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everybody. All right, let's what's up with AAOI, another LITE in the making?
So I don't know much about the company specifically. I've seen what others have said, and I looked at it just briefly. They're one of those that's in this silicon photonics space. I think that it's transceivers that they sell. There's some level of vertical integration that they do. I don't really understand them much at all. The one thing I do know, and the market is kind of grasped on this idea, it's part of the reason why Aehr has been pumping, why Light has been pumping as well, is anything that touches photonics is hot. And that is a next huge wave of what's happening as far as these chipsets. So I would, so I don't know enough about them, but they're in the right space and they seem like a credible business. But I would need to spend a lot more time on that. Those are just cursory thoughts.
Yeah. Roy, do we see Hood over 120 this year? I think so. I think, dude, it topped out at 140, and it's just if you have all of this macro BS alleviated, then you can see it over 120 for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking that we'd probably be out or very close to out and already bottomed the crypto winter by the end of the year. We'll have that big midterm rally. We have the shift that's happening with predictions markets. Some really big news, by the way, with prediction markets that happened this week that we didn't even cover. International expansion as well. There's a lot of things that they're doing very well. They've just kind of suffered like any brokerage would in this time, just because of the price action and less volume. So, I could see it getting over 120.
Holy crap!
Okay, you have to share with the class.
This was the call an hour ago. B-52's turning back. Holy, like, holy,
Oh, wow.
he wasn't bluffing, dude. Holy shit.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. Whew. Yeah. It's gonna be an entertaining night, that's for sure. Because there's stuff that's still breaking, and it seems like I think a lot of the last strikes is like you got to wait for the news to sort of like get around the entire region. Because I saw initial reports saying that like uh, Lebanon was not included, and now it is included, and it's just like oh, there's gonna be a ton of misinformation tonight just because it's so much breaking, news. But craziness.
Yeah.
Have you paid your taxes?
I actually got money back this year, which is great. I did not. I know. I did the same thing. So I do my own taxes now, and I like double and triple check because I'm like, I had massive. They were thankfully long term capital gains taxes on Palantir, and part of it was the Trump tax cuts. We had some other things as well, and yeah, I was like, okay, we got back. It's not a huge amount. It's well under the average amount, but like going from like I might have to pay over 10 grand to oh, I get a little bit of money back. Whew.
Yeah, I am in the process of doing mine. I haven't submitted yet, but I'll definitely like end up paying this year. Especially because I locked in a bunch of Tesla gains over 2025, and glad that I did. But as my partner in that venture, the government, of course, wants their cut for the risk that they took on.
Yeah.
What three stocks are you most excited about for Q1 earnings, which will surprise people? Great question, by the way. Do you want to start, Roy?
I mean, Aehr Test Systems, but it's already gone. What would surprise people? I mean, I think obviously like SoFi has been beaten up so much. I think the market and people have kind of forgot like how high a quality this name is.
Mhm.
Given what we've seen with the loan platform business, I don't think that their revenue is actually going to slow down. I think it'll actually continue to speed up. So that'll be pretty exciting and surprising as well. I think anything Jensen Huang says and anything NVIDIA reports, they're just gonna be like, oh, well, of course it's great. It's NVIDIA. Sell it. So maybe not. At some point, it'll stop being a stable coin. But that's probably the biggest one, though. Figure Technologies would be another one. They released, I didn't even post this just because I've been really busy this week, but they posted their preliminary earnings or preliminary metrics, and they're growing over 100% revenue year over year. Like it's silly, and I think that they'll be able to continue to do that, not indefinitely, but over the next year, maybe. It'll
Yeah.
be really close to that. That gets people's attention. They're like, wait, is this like a one-off? It's not a one-off. They're positioned incredibly well. I don't know about number three. I'd have to kind of think.
Yeah, I think mine are going to be slightly boring. I'm not really concerned about SoFi or Nebius or any of these reporting earnings because they're going to be fine. What I am more interested in seeing, though, is NVIDIA because it speaks towards the macro demand across the board. I'm really interested in seeing Amazon, given their capex spend and the prospects that they have. They dropped quite a bit on the back of their last earnings. I think they can run up ahead of this one, and especially after this one. And I'm also interested in Meta because I really want to see if they have any commentary on that lawsuit, and if they're asked from analysts at all, if that
Yeah.
has a potential to be turning into a class action or something like that. So yeah, I think those ones are the main names that I'm interested in.
Yeah, I would say like there's not a number three that comes close to the other two in my portfolio or other stocks that I'm looking at or watching. Um, a lot of good ones, but no like, oh, we have to see this or this is going to be a huge quarter. Just good solid quarters. I mean, maybe Palantir like the market continues to look at Palantir and be like, well, yeah, they're doing great, but how long can they keep it up?
Yeah.
We might see an acceleration over the 70% revenue growth that we've seen. The net dollar retention is going up. So, yeah.
Did you unblock this guy yet?
I did, yeah, yeah.
You know your VG hedge is dead, right? Well, that's the point of a hedge, man. Like,
Yes.
that's why it's called a hedge.
Like I did my weightings and everything, and VG was like what was it? Not even a 10% weighting in my holding. Like entering today, it was probably more like a 7%. Would I trade 7% and just have it like die to have the 93% just pump to the moon? Yes. So and even with this, like I almost said VG as far as the other one, just because a lot of people think, oh, this is just like a one-off, a quick windfall for VG. There's been some structural long-term changes in LNG as a result of this that benefit VG, and all but maybe one of them are positive. Like so much has changed, and I'm really curious. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. The third stock that I'm interested in, it's VG. They report very late in the earnings season, but just like hearing the CEO Mike Sable's comments as far as what's happening, what they're thinking, what they're using this windfall for. We're not going to see LNG prices like TTF prices just dump and go back to where they were before. This spread that exists and persists, it's going to be there, not to this extent maybe, but all year long for VG. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with VG also falling. That's why I rolled out the covered calls, just because I don't know, right? Like if we had bad news, then that was gonna like I just want to continue that as a hedge, right? Why is Next holding while VG dumps? Well, VG is actually producing, and the macro situation would affect them more, given supply and demand of oil, whereas Next is not producing anything right now. So I would imagine
Next is down 7%. I wouldn't say it's holding.
Yeah, but it's down. It's down like as a sympathy trade, not down as a result of like direct, geopolitics.
Yep.
Would you still buy even with a 2-week ceasefire? Who knows what happened, dude? I bought live on stream with a 2-week ceasefire, so I think that answers your question right there.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Barclays' price downgrade of SoFi?
So I've not read the note. Have you read the note, Tevis? So there's most analysts, probably 90% of the analysts out there are just following price action and just regurgitating old arguments. There are probably more than 10%, honestly, maybe 15% bulls and bears that actually do their own research. They're actually finding things that are novel and interesting. The Barclays analyst that covers SoFi, I don't even remember his name, is not one of those. He is a price chaser. And so if the price is going to the upside, they just raise their price on the price target, regardless of what's actually happening with the underlying business, and also to the downside as well. And that's all that happened here. So it's regardless, it can be frustrating just because on the very short term, it does influence price action. But I mean, look at SoFi after hours. I don't think anybody's thinking about the Barclays price downgrade. They're just like, hey, SoFi can start selling loans because the Strait of Hormuz is open. So it's a joke. So just in case somebody's like, wait a minute.
Yeah. It's like, watch it move up now, and then Barclays is going to come out saying, oops, our bad. Somebody asking where I got laced. I got it on Front and Bay, the first Canadian place LASIK, right downtown. Highly recommend. Great experience. I actually was talking about it to someone recently and was saying that it's got its downsides or whatnot, but it's pretty it's a great decision. 20% of the world's oil goes through the strait. Why do petrol prices go up 40%?
Yeah, it's anytime that you have a fairly tight market. It wasn't like we were producing a huge surplus of oil. You're going to see that effect on anything, any commodity. Like you even saw it in COVID, when people would actually increase the prices or not. In some places they're prohibited or whatever. But when you get to that last little bit of whatever, people are willing to pay a premium, and then somebody else is going to outbid them, and you're bidding on cargoes at that point. If it's based on the spot market, and that spot market tends to be tight, it's really tight for LNG too. So it's an outsized impact, and I'm really thankful for this actually occurring now, because like with LNG, we were at the point where within probably 3 weeks of seeing a price explosion to the upside. It'd be great for VG, but like for the rest of the world, not so good.
Yeah. Am I shorting oil stocks? No. Yeah, go ahead.
So on that, BMNR, at some point, let's see, Ethereum on exchange. Let me throw this up real quick. This is years out, but at some point, this is going to play out here. So this is the measure on CryptoQuant of all the Ethereum on all the decentralized and centralized exchanges. And you can see, of course, it dropped off the cliff, and it was actually the largest decrease in a long time. We're under 15 million now. You can see the trajectory. Now, at some point, BMNR will stop buying hand over fist, but I don't think that's going to be at 5%. I think they're going to keep buying. And this is well before it gets to like zero. When it gets down to like under 5 million, we're going to start to see a lot of price pressure, just supply and demand. And people know like it's inevitable when it's at 5 million that it's going to go down, not to zero. It'll never go down to zero, because as the price goes up, there's people that hadn't thought of selling. They're like, oh, well, I hadn't thought of selling, but maybe at 8,000 I'll sell some Ethereum. So they put it out there. But yeah, you will see a disproportionate effect in terms of remaining supply on the price. And that's like that with anything out there, just supply and demand.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see Ethereum trading in a market that's not held down by the macro. You know, as we said, it is 2250 right now, as of this recording. So, of course, BMNR is going to be trading up on that news as well. But hey, man, Ethereum has some violent moves. So, could we see it at 3,000? Could we see it at 4,000? I think we can. I think we absolutely can. And it's funny, like we need to go back a couple of weeks, Roy, and clip parts of our live streams back then, because people were asking us like, oh, Ethereum at 4,000? Like, can you? And it's like, yeah, dude, these things move quickly. The market has serious recency bias, and the news cycles are short. So you can have a couple of months be down, but overall the trend is going to be up because there's more going on in the ecosystem. Speaking of, any thoughts on the Clarity Act that could help boost SoFi? So I posted this a few days ago, or maybe it was yesterday, and we got a little bit of clarification. And people were posting that the Clarity Act had passed. It hasn't passed. We got a senator coming out who said that the bill is going to enter the Senate Banking Committee on April 13th when they come out of their Easter break or whatever. And he expects it out of the committee this month. I said, it's progress. Here's the steps that still need to happen. We need the Banking Committee markup and the vote to happen. Reconcile with Senate AG Committee version, 60-day Senate vote, reconcile with the House version, and then obviously it goes to the president's desk for a signature. Senator Haggerty said there's several issues that are still outstanding, including yield language that Coinbase and Stripe have pushed back on back in January. It seems as though Brian Armstrong is being more... here, hold on. Let me pull this down because there was a clip of Brian Armstrong. Maybe we want to play that. But
while you're looking for that, I can throw this up too. This was kind of related. So there's the twin acts. The Genius Act is, of course, already approved, which maybe is why somebody got confused. The Clarity Act is not. This came out just today. The FDIC approves proposal to implement Genius Act requirements and standards. And there's several pieces. So one is, this is basically for stablecoins specifically. The proposed rule would establish a prudential framework. Prudential basically is a term that's used. And so PayPal's is done like this through Paxos, where it's prudentially regulated. So if PayPal ever goes belly up, for instance, those reserves are not touched in that kind of environment. So there's basically no risk as a result. It would also establish requirements for FDIC supervised permitted payment stablecoin issuers, that's SoFi, and insured depository institutions, IDIs, that provide certain payment stablecoin related custodial and safekeeping services. In addition, the proposed rule would address the applicability of pass-through insurance deposits, which has also been one of those, not as impactful as the yield, but it still has been one of those areas where they've not agreed on. And so it's a little bit different process, but they accept comments. Comments are not just like, good job, man, and I like it, or contact so-and-so on Telegram for trade. Like, not that kind of comment. It's just like markups, basically, to approve the bill or to question certain things before it actually goes into the next committee. So very bullish. Oh, man, that would be exciting. That's not going to happen, though.
Well,
these things take longer.
Yeah, I think it has to happen by like May, because otherwise it's going to get punted until like the end of the year, if not 2027.
Yeah, I May is possible. It would be challenging if we go much later than like June. If we're into July,
Nah, it's going to get punted. Just want to bring up this post by Chris Patel before we go on with the questions and get your thoughts on it. And I'll read this and then I'll be right back. I'm just going to grab some water. Chris says, if this deal is real and gets ratified, Iranian crude plus Venezuelan crude plus unsanctioned Russian crude is going to hit the markets at the same time. Oil might end up sub $70 by the end of this year. Backwardation to contango trade is going to be violent. All right, you can comment on that.
Yeah, so I'm not an oil guy, so I'm no expert there, but it does revolve around, of course, supply and demand, like we just finished saying. So if all that hits all at once, then yes. But my understanding is probably because of the war, there's been some damage, I would guess, even though they've been careful. There were some hits on Karg Island. There may be some between now and then at the end of the war, whenever that actually happens. And also with Venezuela, their infrastructure has they've just not reinvested. And it takes a while to get upgrades, to test everything and make sure it's ready to go as well. It's not just hitting an on and off switch. So there will be some staggering, but the market is forward looking. Futures, of course, prices in these things. So could we see that scenario? Yeah, we could. But we'd have to see a more stable macro. But that would be really good. Like energy prices going back down to that level, that's been the biggest fear of this, I think, for a lot of people, is how sticky will inflation be? Is it going to be something that is just a blip for a month or two because of energy prices mostly, and it doesn't actually translate too much into commodities? If we actually see a resolution here on the back of this 2-week thing, then yes, that would probably be the case. If it takes, like 6 months, you start hitting fertilizer, which hits grain yields, which hits everything else as well. And then you just have this nasty environment of inflation for a lot of people. So yeah, that'd be a great thing for the markets as well.
Absolutely. All right, let's keep going. Why do you think SoFi specifically is so tied to macro? I mean, like, all the financials are down. The entire market is down, right? So why? Well, I mean, macro, I think, affects rates. Rates affect financials.
Yeah, that's the big thing is, it's not just the market getting it wrong. Rate cuts are very meaningful for SoFi, very meaningful. And if we got in the environment where there's actually rate hikes happening, that would have been very bearish. So here's where we're at right now, and I don't think that this moves after hours. Maybe it does a little bit. It adds up that time. But you can see just how much movement has happened. It might be a little bit hard to read, but current target rate is 350 to 375. That's the consensus rate here. Going into the year, we were looking at 2 price cuts as far as the consensus, and now we're not even there. Now it is weighted more towards at least 1 cut happening, 33%. I imagine that this will probably move some based on this news. We'll wait for a further resolution. But yeah, if Chris Patel is right, if we get a lasting piece, all this stuff could help move inflation to the downside, in which case you're actually looking at probably 2 cuts again. That would actually cause SoFi to pump even more. And I think that's probably why it's pumping after hours, is they realize biggest driver of inflation was the Hormuz event, and now ships can pass through. Like if ships could not be passing through, I don't think we would have seen that big of a move. So
Yeah, but I think like it's not fundamentally affecting SoFi if this were to last for a prolonged period of time, and if it were to escalate further, that it does affect, the macro, then yeah, of course it would affect SoFi because it affects their projections, their guidance, but they still guide very conservatively, and this is not going to be lasting an extended period of time. It's going to be over fairly quickly. So the market is just preemptive.
for sure.
Okay, let's go with our next question. Isn't the best proof of legitimacy that AI is a price reaction with full information in his tweet? Maybe that can go to bed. Isn't that best proof of legitimacy of AI is the price reaction with the full? I don't know. I'm gonna skip that. If you're still in the chat, let me know let me know how to read that. Do you understand this? No. Question for Roy. What meal would you order when Tevis treats you to dinner? This is a question. This is a great question.
Okay. Well, I'm going to insist that Tevis stay a few days, and we can actually, if it's when I'm thinking, then we'll have an extra bedroom. So if you want to stay independently, that's fine. But
can I be like a stowaway and just hide out and be?
Yeah.
I'd
probably cook you a meal and you get to eat with the whole family once, and then you travel a lot, so you eat a lot of different types of food. So I'd probably treat you to two that are kind of special in Houston. So one is barbecue. Texas barbecue is the best. I've lived in Memphis. It's very good. Carolina's a little overrated. Sorry. But Texas barbecue, man, it slaps. The other is Tex-Mex. So there are some fantastic Tex-Mex places. There's authentic too, but you've had authentic, I'm sure, before. Man, you could throw a rock in any direction and hit a great Tex-Mex place in Houston. So there's a really good fajita place where they make everything from scratch. Not authentic at all, but it is ridiculous. It's the best fajitas I've ever had. You like fajitas?
I love fajitas.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm getting hungry now.
I am also getting hungry, and I don't know what I'm going to do for food, if I'm going to order something or if I'm going to make something. I'm probably end up ordering something. Maybe I'll get tacos. How about that? Maybe I will get tacos tonight in solidarity with my portfolio. That might be the play, Roy.
Oh, man. Taco Tuesday in 2 ways. You got to post it on X, though.
Taco Tuesday. Oh, if I get tacos?
Yeah, free engagement.
Free engagement. Yeah, if I do end up getting tacos, I will definitely post about it. Coinbase still blocking the Clarity Act. I mean, I think they're in between a rock and a hard place, quite frankly. Like, they're not a fan of this version, but they risk the entire thing getting punted. So, I mean, like, what would you do if you were Coinbase? I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough. I don't think that they necessarily block. I think that they probably prefer a bill that's not ideal versus one that never gets done.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure that's like what everybody is preferring right now. It's just kind of unfortunate that that's the option on the table. And it's just like, well, Brian Armstrong, welcome to politics, my friend. This is how it works. It's compromise, compromise, compromise all around. And there's nothing you can really do about it. Let's see. You see Chris Patel is roasting SoFi and X. Yeah, I mean, B-dubs, we talked a little bit about this earlier.
Yeah, he says, this is the most recent one. I hadn't seen this. One makes money on transactions and actively buys back shares. The other originates and sells loans that are increasingly becoming riskier in a K-shaped economy while financing its business with share issuances. SoFi and Hood shouldn't even be spoken in the same breath. And, okay, so I own both. You know this, Tevis. I am like long-term more bullish on Robinhood, but I'm also bullish on SoFi, and they're large positions for me. You guys are wrong. Like, Robinhood is an amazing company, but he's overlooking so much. Like, what are one recent thing and one thing in the last year that he is overlooking with this tweet? Audience or Tevis? So,
Yeah.
asset light revenue. Both are related to asset light revenue. So we have, of course, big business banking, which we'll have to see and how it plays out. But that is fee-based revenue. That is what SoFi is really driving towards. They're not really tied up into risky loans, and I wouldn't call this. I mean, like, on one hand, you have a post like this, and then you're like, "Hey, oil to 70." Oil to 70 is not bearish SoFi, dude. Which I know he was posting this beforehand. But then the loan platform business, there's no risk in it, despite what Muddy Water says, which they've walked back a number of things because they were really offsides.
Roy, hold on. Let me throw this comment down and let me zoom in on this. I'm going to show you something, and I want to get your reaction. Because we, my friend, have been betrayed, okay? Me and you have been betrayed by our friend Steven, who is apparently doing a Stock Market Unfiltered, the show that we have together, and he's doing it with Tanner and Matt.
Whoa. Yeah, using that name's not cool, man.
Yeah. Stock Market Unfiltered with our arch nemesis and real Matt Money, who clearly hates us.
He just nodded his head and said, "Yeah, I do. I saw it. I could lip read right there." So,
yeah. What is going on, Roy? What is going on? I mean, ever since he went deeper into the YouTube game, it's yeah, exactly. I gotta get Tim Sweeney on his ass.
Yeah.
Seriously, man. How many names are there out there? It's not a stop. I was like, is it Friday? Am I like having? Is it Friday? Am I having a stroke? Like, what is going on? It's not. It's Tuesday. I checked.
That's fine.
This is ridiculous. I appreciate everybody for being here. You guys are the true fans of myself and Mr. Dr. Roy.
But still have not gotten used to that. It's going to take a while. What's fun though, those little forms where you have to put your title, like, oh, yeah. I can be upgraded from Mr. to Doctor. So sweet.
You definitely could. You definitely could. Let's see. How you feeling?
Yeah, I think let's go ahead and wrap up on the next. Or I think have we covered everything? Oh yeah. So I guess Mark's comment right there is probably a good one to end.
We've got a couple of questions left, but I'm just
Yeah.
Are you feeling good? You want to keep going for a little while?
Yeah, let's go. We can go another 20 minutes and then I think call it.
Okay.
And give me about like 30 seconds though.
All right, cool. I mean, I did that to Roy multiple times tonight. Yeah, exactly. So it's only fair that he does it to me. It's been a good night. Yeah, Milkman is not out to make friends right now, guys. He is out to make money. And it's quite painful to see. We have about 4 questions left. If you guys do have other questions that you want to ask us, we're going to be hanging out here for another 20 minutes or so. And we would love to answer your questions and see if Steve answers your questions. How about that? When you leave this stream and you go to his stream, see if he answers your questions.
That's below the belt, sir.
Okay, let's move on. Let's see. Will you be selling covered calls a month out?
That's not my style, so no. Well, except on ones that you have to. So if this is referenced to like Aehr Test Systems, which doesn't have that developed if an options chain, yes. I'll wait until next week, but I don't think I'll roll any. If it's in the money, that's okay. I'll take some profits. And I'll continue to sell some covered calls at legs that I don't mind the profits being realized at, or I'll make some money either way. So, but that's the only one that I'll do monthly.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I might be selling some covered calls, depending on what the name is. If I feel like I want to get rid of it or make some money on, like, I don't know. I might be. I was selling covered calls on every rally that we were having over the past couple of weeks, but we actually got some confirmation now. Now we're not completely out of the woods. Like, we can get a backtrack, and sure, it's very possible, but you're also going to get a good amount of premium, because if you sell over earnings, generally speaking, the premiums are going to be higher because of the IV. So that's also something to consider as well.
Yep.
Time to go in Steve's chat and send cease and desist. Not yet, but we will be eventually going with the cease and desist. Barry says, thank you. There isn't much quality stock talk in the evenings. It's just that blabbering Tanner and Steve, not quality. So you got some every Tuesday.
My daughter wanted to share some peeps with me, I guess. So
what is
I haven't
that?
eaten dinner yet, so I guess it's dinner.
Oh, that's lovely. It doesn't look like a taco to me. But
no. Maybe tacos after this.
So are we on to Cuba now? Is the big Cyclops eye over Cuba officially?
I mean, I kind of hope not, but it could be. I think that they'll probably wait for something permanent here, especially despite the way that Trump and many officials have talked. I don't think things went exactly like that they were thinking. I'm not sure that they had much of a thought going in, honestly. So, but maybe. And that doesn't mean I like the regime in Iran or Cuba either. I just, yeah. So, yeah, I see Julio's comment there too.
We're going to get to Julio. All right.
And I'll just have a bite of the peep.
You enjoy that. Imagine if clarity gets passed in these 2 weeks, would be very bullish. Did you see BMNR NYSE listing move?
My most recent videos on it. It's really good for liquidity. It is meaningful. It's not just something that's insignificant. They also changed their registrar of their shares. So those are both related if you look at the dates and the timing of the 8K filing. But yes, it's good.
Yeah. They should have called it Tuesday Stock Therapy.
Oh man.
Yeah. It's a great name. That's a great name.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. What other question do we have? Justin is asking, do we think it holds tomorrow? Roy, what do you think?
Broader index, probably yes. I think initially there's going to be profit taking, and then we'll probably continue to rally.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, we could even see a pop in the profit taking, but I don't think that this is a crazy move at all, given what had just happened.
Yeah. I think it holds tomorrow. The pre-market is largely going to be deterministic of how the day is going to go. I think we get a few days of solid price action, and then it really determines, how much of the move is going to be earnings prep in anticipation of big tech earnings beats versus macro related. And I think that's what the story of next week is going to be. And I think there's going to be scuffles throughout, like, oh, ceasefire's broken. Oh, so on and so forth. Somebody said an angry tweet about somebody, all of this stuff, right? So, but I think largely we hold until tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see. We better fucking hold until tomorrow, because I'll strangle someone if we don't. This is just, I have trust issues now, because I don't know. This is good news. Just let me enjoy it for at least 24 hours, Trump. Is the SoFi bottom in, Roy? Do we think we've bottomed?
It really depends on this situation, but yes, I would say it's more likely than not.
Hmm.
But I mean, we'll have to see because I like a big part of this move again is because of inflation fears and rate cuts versus rate hikes. This helps significantly. So
Yeah, I would also tend to agree, especially because we're going into earnings in a couple of weeks. So we tend to rally going into earnings. I think the numbers are going to be positive. And I think from a technical perspective, like 14 was the level we needed to hit. I think we hit like, I think we even broke into the 14s. We broke under 15. So good enough, in my mind, that we can start to bounce out from there. Now, do we fully get a V shape? I'm not sure. Maybe we chop in the teens for a while. Earnings, I think, is going to be what makes this move higher ultimately. And within earnings, what I'm looking for is some commentary around big business banking.
yep. First, it's their first chance to do that. They're in the silent period where they do have to release, like they did for the announcement for the business banking that they did. Um, File an 8K at the very least, and they're going to do more than that. But outside of that, they're not going to go on CNBC and talk about it or do anything like meaningful until after earnings, and they'll talk about it in earnings too. So they'll also they won't address the muddy waters stuff, and that it's not you don't. I don't really like CEOs talking about like shorts and short reports, even though I am in Palantir, hence the paddle the right way. But I I do think that they'll probably talk about more so on the loan platform business, private equity, and the risk there. That's been a big part of the story of why SoFi has gone down and been trading down. And it seems like that has been overblown with the early announcement that they had with the loan platform business. So I think that they'll double down on that. Yeah, they'll put up good numbers.
Yeah. What's the likelihood of Aehr hitting 70? Give me a number out of 10. I mean, it depends on what your time frame is. Let's just say in the next 3 months, Roy.
Oh, 3 months. I would say maybe like a 25% chance. Um, I think that they'll probably need the next quarter to be able to do it. Um, but yeah, if you're like talking about through the end of the year, probably an 8.
All right. So what is that? Like a 2 for the next couple months and then an 8 for the end of the year?
Yeah, I said 2.5, but yeah,
3, yeah.
25% chance versus like 80, probably 85% chance, honestly, of hitting 70. I mean, a lot of it's depending on macro, so I'm not going to put 100% on it. I wouldn't put that on anything.
Yeah. Roy Tevis versus Matt and Steve in the ring. Who wins?
Oh, we do. Easy.
Yeah. We'll just do the Floyd Mayweather, just, run around the ring until they tire themselves out, and we just wear them down like that.
I mean, you would do that. I would wear them down with historical facts and botanical facts
Just
on
potato facts.
potatoes. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there you have it. Shall we raid Steve's stream? What do we think? Do we want to go there, or do we want to let him enjoy the fact that he stole our name and cut us out, Roy?
Yeah, I would say yes. Go ahead and put the link there, and let me find it too on my end. Actually, if you could put it on the private chat, that way we're just setting up to the same. Do you want to do Steve's stream, I'm assuming, or Tanner? Steve is the one that should feel bad because he used stock market unfiltered.
Yeah. Hold on, let me get the link.
So if you guys have a minute, just hop onto this link and feel free to tune in. Those guys are all jokes aside, great guys. They do great coverage as well, and they're well worth a follow. Same with Devis. If you're on my channel and you haven't already followed him, you're making mistakes, so be sure to rectify that. But yeah, hop over there and say cease and desist.
In all caps. In all caps.
Cease and desist on the name, or you have been served, something along that line. So
no, just cease and desist in all caps. I'm throwing up the link here as well. And thank you all so much for watching Bootleg Weekly. We will see you again next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Jazz says Tevis Roy win for sure.
Ooh.
I agree with that. And actually, we'll see you on Friday for the Ron and Travis Fiesta Friday show. And maybe one week in these last 3 weeks, it can actually be a freaking fiesta because it's been miserable over the past couple of weeks. I'll see you all in Steve's chat. Thank you so much again. See you soon. Bye bye.
Let's eat a